Alrighty, welcome to Grand Lotus MTG. We have got a brand new scandal in the world of Magic the Gathering, and it revolves around the reprinting of the One Ring. Which the first thing I heard about the reprinting of the One Ring was that people were kind of upset because it felt like that was a card that was never going to be reprinted, and we've seen a huge price increase. I checked it on TCG Player a few days ago. I was just curious. The One Ring is over $100 right now on TCG Player, but this is not related to the price. This is not related to just reprinting. What this is related to is some people were noticing some very striking similarities in the artwork of the One Ring. When some people actually took this image and flipped it, and they noticed the proportions are all like 100% exactly the same. So if you take the image uh, from the right hand image here, that's the original from the original Lord of the Rings set, and you flip it over, it lines up exactly perfectly with this one, including how all of the reflections, if you line up like inside the ring here, all of these little reflections and everything are like basically identical. You can see obviously the lettering here has been kind of smudged out and removed. But it is so similar that rumors started going around the internet that legendary Magic the Gathering artist Dan Frazier, who's the one that created the new One Ring for The Hobbit, actually basically plagiarized and copied the original artwork. And so those rumors started going around like crazy and picking up traction. And the more people started looking into it, you can tell that this is literally just a flipped over copy of the original artwork with some fairly minor changes of like smudging out the elvish wording there. But it is like 99% like the same exact artwork. And so just to take a quick step backwards, so you might be thinking, if you're a Magic player, you might be thinking, Dan Frazier, that sounds familiar. Yeah, he was literally the artist behind some of the most iconic Magic the Gathering cards ever, going all the way back to the very first Magic cards ever. Um, I'm just gonna kind of scroll through here, but just looking at these cards by Dan, all of this, everything on your screen, everything I'm showing you is all from Dan Frazier, and this brings me back to the mid '90s, mid to late '90s when I used to play Magic when I was in high school. I still have a bunch of these old cards, and let's go to page 2 here. There might be a few that you recognize. You know, if you played back around like Revised, Ice Age. That's kind of what was going on when I first started playing Magic, Mirage, stuff like that, Chronicles. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Mox Emerald, Mox Jet, Mox Jasper, Mox Pearl, Mox Ruby, Mox Sapphire. Yeah, I think that's all the Moxes. All of the original Moxes by Dan Frazier. I mean, this is yeah, that the prosperity, really brings me back. And anyone that's been playing Magic for a while should recognize at least a few of these cards by Dan Frazier. He has been making Magic the Gathering art for literally like 30 plus years for Magic for Wizards of the Coast. And so yeah, this is not like some new artist that just, copied somebody else's work. This is like one of the legends of Magic the Gathering art. So many iconic cards, so many iconic cards. So, okay, let's check this out. So these rumors were going around the internet that the art had been basically stolen, plagiarized, copied, and so we actually have a message here. This is the response from Dan. This is directly from Dan Frazier. It says, "I made a mistake, and I feel awful. I especially feel for Marta. Marta is the original artist of the One Ring, whose work I adore. I'm trying to create an iconic version of the One Ring. While looking at references online, I ended up using Marta's ring as a reference and painted over it to try to depict the item fans hold dear to their hearts. In doing so, I didn't make it my own. I'm reaching out to Marta privately to apologize, artist to artist. I love creating art for Magic. I've loved being a part of this artist community for more than 30 years, and I'm sorry I've let my fans down. Sincerely, Dan Frazier. Like, wow, crazy. And yeah, I can see looking at references, I can see um, maybe even, as a rough sketch, maybe. I mean, it's a gold ring, it's a golden ring. And I will preface this saying I'm not an artist. I like to do some creative things, but I am not a painter or anything. So I could imagine kind of going, okay, this is the One Ring image. I'm kind of the original. If you were to take that and just do kind of a rough sketch of it, and then take that original away and then fill it in from there, that's one thing. But actually leaving like 90% of the original, it's like, yeah, that's a no-no. And then from Wizards of the Coast, Dan Frazier is a titan of the art industry and of Magic the Gathering. He has created so many iconic pieces of art for the game that he will forever be a part of our game, and we value his contributions tremendously. With that in mind, we're disappointed our review process didn't catch the issue. Like Dan, we have already reached out to apologize to Marta Nail for not catching the use of her art in this piece. None of this was intentional, but we're going to make it right as much as we can. On digital versions of the card, we will credit both Dan Frazier and Marta Neal. We will also make sure Marta is compensated for their work here. So that's cool of Wizards to just say, yep, let's call a spade a spade. This is what happened. We love Dan. He's not going anywhere. But, Marta kind of got the short end of the stick here. So we're gonna pay Marta some money and smooth things over. So that's cool. This is a good moment to recognize that we are all humans who make mistakes. Dan made a mistake. We made mistakes in our process to not catch the error. We don't condone or accept either, but we still value Dan and his contributions and are grateful for his place in the game. Thank you to the eagle-eyed fans who noticed this, and for all of you being strong advocates for amazing art and artists. Sincerely, all of us at Wizard of the Coast. So yeah, there it is. Looking at these two images, it's like, holy cow, man. Yeah, that is like crazy. It's like, yeah, feel bad for everyone involved. Dan Frazier, amazing artist. I think as fans of the game, we can all appreciate the great art that Dan has done. And yeah, I don't know what happened there, but you got to call a spade a spade. That's kind of messed up. So that is the big scandal. So if you hear about, this One Ring scandal, I wanted to let my viewers kind of inform you of what's going on. So, hey, thanks for watching. Trying to hit that first 100 subscribers. So if you enjoy what's on my channel, I've got a bunch of draft videos and stuff. So please hit that like and subscribe button. All right, take care.